My name is Trey Hutt, and I am proud to be working with the Florida Medical Association and the Emerald Coast Medical Association to provide you with all the information you need to recover from what must be an overwhelming experience following the landfall of Hurricane Ian. I'm a licensed agent and a licensed adjuster, and I've spent the last 30 years or so in this business. But more importantly, the reason that I want to talk to you is because I have been right where you are. 4 years ago, when Hurricane Michael hit the Panhandle, I spent several weeks doing what you're just about to go through. So I would like to give you the benefit of some lessons learned and help you through the experience you're going to go to. The very first thing I want to tell you is the first priority, of course, is the safety of yourself and your family and your practice. We tend to get a little aggressive after a storm like this. Those that have made it through sometimes can feel a little bit superhuman, and while that's admirable, you do have to realize that you have physical limitations, and this is a marathon, not a sprint. So I would encourage you to take care of yourself and the people around you so that you can take care of your patients. The first thing that you should do, if you haven't already, is to call your provider. My preference, of course, would be that you call your agent. Hopefully, you have a local agent that provides your property insurance for wind and perhaps for flood as well. And if you don't have a local provider, then call your broker or the company itself if you need to. If you're unable to get in touch with your local agent, you're certainly welcome to call our office. The Florida Medical Association can put you in touch with me, and we'll be glad to get the information to the places that it's needed, because there are agents in your town that are certainly in the same position as you, and they may be struggling with issues of communications or power. We were without cell service for 9 weeks after Hurricane Michael in 2018, for example. So those kinds of things can certainly affect response. But if you have relatively minor damage, I would recommend that you wait 2 or 3 days to contact your insurance provider and let people with really catastrophic damage get ahead of you in line. And if not, if you have severe damage, then obviously you need to go ahead and get that information reported. The most significant danger you're going to face here in the next few days, particularly in the next, say, 72 hours, in my opinion, is predators. And by predators, I don't mean gators that are swimming up canals. I mean predatory contractors, predatory public adjusters, and predatory attorneys. What we found after Hurricane Michael, which you're certainly going to see after Hurricane Ian, is yard signs pop up. You're going to have signs on the sides of buses, and you're going to have an awful lot of people that show up at your door with a smile and a clipboard wanting to help you. I will tell you, in my experience, most of those people that approached you after a storm are going to be there to line their own pockets. They're not really interested in helping you unless that's just a mechanism for them to get paid a very steep amount for the kind of work that they do. And this is going to sound a little funny, but people that are wearing a tie, people that are wearing skinny jeans, carrying a clipboard, and telling you all the things they can do, making big promises with slick talk, that's not the guys you want. In a perfect world, you will find a local contractor that you know something about. If you can lean on your local relationships, that is always the best. That's a known quantity. And the other thing that's good is they have some responsibility in your community. After this is over with, if things aren't going well, you can go to those people directly. You can sit in their office. You can have your practice manager reach out to them and go and find them physically if need be to make them do what they said they were going to do. Contractors from out of state are going to be necessary, but once somebody goes back to Louisiana or Georgia, Alabama, Texas, there's not much you can do to track them down, and there's not going to be any leverage that state regulators have over those people. So wherever possible, use local folks. And I will say that more than anything else, trust your judgment. If something feels a little bit off, if you feel like you're really under pressure to sign something, then that's not the person you need to use. If you are pressed into signing a contract, this is it sounds like it goes without saying, but you need to read it, and not only read it, but understand it. If it has any language talking about assigning benefits or an AOB, assignment of benefits, something like that, you need to run the other way. And if you express concern about such language and the contractor says something about how it's only needed, you just have to sign this so that we can be authorized to start work, well, frankly, that's not true. You can give them a verbal okay to start work. You can even give them a deposit. Do not give them a ton of money. If somebody says that it's going to be a $40,000 roof job, they don't need $40,000 up front. because after our experience, we saw a lot of those people put the $40,000 in their pocket and either use that to start another job, or worse yet, simply disappear and go back to their home out of state. So be very, very careful. It's really sad, it's very unfortunate, but predators are your biggest problem in the next few days. As far as some of the other more mundane problems, but still significant, water and fuel, in my experience, is something that's pretty significant. So you need to plan for gasoline. You need to plan for water. It does appear that there are going to be significant assets headed your way, and a lot of these issues may be less for you than they were for us. But I can tell you that having to drive an hour and a half or 2 hours one way to get fuel was a problem for us for upwards of 2 or 3 weeks. So plan for that. Something else you may not have thought much about are little electronic power banks, the little spare battery packs that you use for your cell phone. If you can get your hands on some of those and get them charged, so much the better. We ended up having to go out of town to buy burner phones because we didn't have cell service from Verizon for a while. They took down some towers. If you find a particular provider is problematic, then have no problem sending somebody out of the impact zone to go buy burner phones, or something that will get you internet service via cell. Those kind of things are perfectly reasonable, but you need to go ahead and execute those plans now, because the longer you wait, you're going to be behind other people in line. Something else for communication that was very effective for us is, don't forget, most of you can push a button in the top of your car and OnStar will respond, or something very much like it. And that's a satellite-based service that helps you make phone calls. You can get internet service, all kinds of things. So if you're in an area that's very heavily impacted and they haven't put up a temporary cell tower near you yet, sign on to OnStar. I can tell you that when we were impacted, we signed up and they gave us great deals, realizing where we were and the impact area we were in. The sign-up process was very, very quick and simple, and we were accomplished in 3 or 4 minutes. And it was really nice, particularly with no power and no cell service, to be able to go out and sit in an air-conditioned pickup truck and talk to family, to sort of come down off of whatever high we were on, and to be able to really just take a breath in the quiet and the air conditioning. So don't forget that that's an asset you might consider. I want to give you 2 phone numbers before I get too far down the road here too. One is 800-22-STORM. That is the Florida Department of the Florida Department of Financial Services. That's the insurance guys. And that storm number right there will help direct you toward resources. That is the enforcement arm for the insurance industry. So if you have a public adjuster or a company adjuster, some insurance company misbehaving, those are the people you want to talk to. And they were extremely professional and very helpful after our experience too. What we're going to do is, our intent is to continue to provide you with information and videos like this that are going to help you navigate the recovery of your family, your home, your practice. Next Monday, October 10th, will be a very important day. I'm going to join the FMA and Emerald Coast Medical Association for a webinar that is going to walk you through all kinds of things. We're going to talk about topics such as flood versus wind losses, what public adjusters do and don't do and can't do, how to document your claims so that you get paid properly and don't shortchange yourself, and what to do to get your claim on the very top of the pile that's on your adjuster's desk. You want to get paid first so you can get back to what you do, which is taking care of your patients. You're going to have the opportunity to ask all kinds of questions and learn how you can quickly and successfully recover from this event, which has no doubt been devastating. We're here to help you for this. It's overwhelming. There's just no way to put it any better. But we're going to be here to help you through it. And if you just run into a brick wall and you feel like you just don't know where to go, call the FMA or reach out to me, and we will get you to the right resources, and we will put you in touch with somebody that can help you. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint.